What's up, trade crew? Welcome back to the HVAC R&D podcast, and dropping in with live episode number 1 from the AHR Podcast Pavilion. Right here, right now, we've got Miss Jessica Slaughter from RLS Rapid Locking System. Let's get it, y'all. What's up, trade crew? The AHR Expo is officially a wrap. What a week it was. Live shows in the Podcast Pavilion, live shows from the floor, getting the opportunity to moderate a workforce development panel. That was so cool. Thank you so much for the opportunity, AHR. And again, getting to spend time walking students through the showroom floor for another year in a row. Getting to see so many people face to face, that's truly what this industry is about. To everyone that came out to support me and Kristen in the show, shook our hands, grabbed selfies, or just said we listen every week, thank you so much. To the friends I missed because we're all sprinting across the convention center for 3 straight days, we'll catch up soon. I hate I missed you, but you know what? We got plenty of time. HVAC R&D has always been about one thing, and that's collaboration over competition. Contractors, distributors, manufacturers, reps, we're all better when we work together and challenge each other to raise the standard of this trade. A huge thank you to our sponsors who help make this show possible. Live Switch, JPL Flex, Diversitech, RLS Rapid Locking System, True Nature Meats, and a very, very special trade crew welcome to the family with Residio and Mon Hummel. If you believe in growing the trades the right way, you're in the right place. Let's get it going, y'all. So what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another AHR Podcast Pavilion. I am Ryden, host of the HVAC R&D podcast. This is my 5th year back doing this, so a lot of fun. Joining me today is Miss Jessica Slaughter. She is the marketing manager at Rapid Locking System. And while she works closely with contractors, engineers, and industry leaders to stay ahead of what's actually happening in the field, but with a strong pulse on emerging trends like press technology, large-scale applications, and the A2L transition, Jessica plays a key role in helping RLS support technicians through education, training, and real-world solutions, not just products. So she's deeply invested in workforce development, hands-on learning, and why events like AHR still matter for the future of the trades. So I'm excited to have here today. So everyone, please welcome Miss Jessica from RLS.
Hi. Happy to be here.
Yes, thanks so much. I feel like we were just hanging out last night and we're already here and it's halfway through a day.
Yep.
But that's the way these shows go. So, before we talk fittings and tech, for anyone that's just walking by, give us the quick version of who you are and what you do for RLS.
Yeah, so my name is Jessica Slaughter, and I am RLS's marketing manager. And if you're unfamiliar with RLS, or Rapid Locking System, we are a press fitting manufacturer for HVAC R connections. I've been with the company now 5 years and have really seen how press has evolved even in this short period of time and how contractors are adapting it. We are headquartered in St. Louis, Missouri, and that is where we manufacture all of the fittings, and we ship to over 23 countries that are using our product and have around 20 million fittings installed globally.
You mentioned that you've been in the HVAC industry for about 5 years now. So, what surprised you the most when you got into this industry in the beginning?
Honestly, what surprised me the most, I came from selling luxury refrigeration and working with the 1%ers, interior designers and house managers, which was kind of a little bit of a different vibe. And so the big thing that stood out to me was how, honestly, everybody is down to earth, welcoming, wants to know who you are, or just communicate with you in a nice manner.
5-year-old Jessica never imagined that this was where she would be at this point in life, I'm sure.
No, everybody's like, how'd you get into HVAC? I'm like, I didn't get into HVAC. I got into marketing.
Well, and that's the beauty of this industry is people don't realize that there's so many more jobs than just turning a wrench. So jobs like Jessica's in marketing kind of are a whole other aspect of the trades that's out there that people don't know about. I know you're a long-term listener to this show. If any of y'all out there haven't listened, I hope that we will at some point. But one of Jessica's favorite episodes features Justin Heller, and he and I talked a lot about education and A2L. And talking about those things, what of that conversation really just sticks for you?
Yeah, his thoughts on A2L transitions are incredibly relevant to RLS's mission to provide a newer, safer technology to technicians out there who are installing these systems. And now with the transition happening, we know all the sorts of like low flammability, but it's still present. And so if we're able to offer a technology that's flame free during the connection process, it just helps aid that transition and provide a very safe alternative to them, especially in like sensitive environments like hospitals and theaters and malls and working spaces that people are still, using.
Well, and I think there's kind of been a misconception about press fittings over the last several years. A2L's kind of helped push it more to the forefront, but press fittings aren't just for certain jobs. What would you think really is your biggest misconception that you hear in terms of how they can be utilized on a day-to-day basis?
Yeah, I think a lot of people may begin to shift their mindset because of a specific job. Like I mentioned, like a hospital, or like one job that really sticks out that I just think is super cool is our fittings got used on a book vault in the Smithsonian Museum. And obviously there's like extremely old books and they don't want to move them because they're going to fall apart, and they don't want to introduce flame into this extremely sensitive environment that's like a haystack ready to catch on fire there. So that might be something that may get a contractor to seek out an alternative in a certain space. So I think that could be a misconception. I only use this for certain things, but really what I've seen is as soon as somebody comes and gets a demo, a training, or uses it on a job site themselves, it really is like a seeing is believing, like doing is knowing. And so once they try the product and they have a good experience from it and they're like, oh, it works. They're like, okay, I'm going to keep using this.
Well, and I've had a very similar path with it. So I'm in distribution outside of being in the podcast. And over the last several years, one of the biggest things was getting contractors to understand that brazing is probably not going away, but pressing makes a lot of jobs much faster. It's a lot cleaner, and sometimes it's a little cost to get into it, but the cost savings you get on the back end from less time and labor is massive. And it also just allows you to get into a lot more applications that you really didn't think about, and you can kind of be in and out quicker as well. So, when it comes to your fittings, you guys cover 1/4 inch up to 2 1/8. Mm-hmm. So now that you kind of have this larger catalog in the real world, what does that flexibility help unlock for contractors?
Really, the importance of us offering such a broad scale of press fittings is so that when you do go to a job and you want to press and you've invested in the tools and in the fittings themselves, that you're able to press your entire job. Also, there's residential, there's commercial, there's industrial, different types of applications. Somebody's doing something different. And so you need to have an inclusive size range and the accessories that go with that. So when they show up on the job to press, they don't need to have an excuse to get their torch out, which is probably the main reason they were avoiding it. Maybe they wanted to avoid a burn permit, and maybe it was a sensitive environment, or honestly, it's a really just repeatable, reliable tool that, once somebody's trained on it, they're going to get the same connection every single time. So really that's what it's about, is us being able to be in each environment, whether it's somebody doing a couple fittings on a home install or doing millions of fittings on the Mercedes-Benz Stadium or...
Trade crew, I'd like to introduce you to my friends over at LiveSwitch. If you haven't heard of them, they're developing a platform specifically for trades contractors and service professionals like yourselves. So picture this. Mrs. Jones calls the office. Her furnace is making some kind of strange sound. Normally, you would just have to roll the truck and go see what's going on. But instead, with LiveSwitch, you can jump on a video call right then and there with no app with Mrs. Jones. You can see things from her perspective on a fully functional video call. You can take screenshots, you can record, and you can deliver a different experience that no other contractor is giving their homeowners right now. If you're worried about it working with stuff you're already using, you know what? It integrates perfectly into Jobber, Service Titan, House Call Pro, any of the stuff that you guys are already using. It makes it a seamless transition to add this new tool to your arsenal. Go to hvacrnd.com, visit the vendor hub, set up your LiveSwitch demo today. You can also click the link down in the description below, or you can find the link to the demo in my bio. bio. Thanks everybody for listening to the show. Check out LiveSwitch. I promise you it is an app for you. It gives you an ability to do something completely different for homeowners that no one else is doing right now. You guys won't be disappointed. Go schedule your demo today.
Since 1961, JP Lamborn Company has been the name behind some of the best flexible duct products in the business. A third-generation family-owned company that built its legacy on integrity, innovation, and service. That same spirit drives them today, with antimicrobial technology, top-tier materials, and a relentless focus on quality. When contractors need a product they can stand behind, JPL delivers. It's more than just flex duct, it's peace of mind. JPL, the name you know, the quality you trust, and the flex that delivers. And I've had multiple contractors on the show that use RLS press fittings regularly as the primary means of connecting equipment in their business. Guys that are doing regular residential and retrofit, it's quick and it's easy, it's clean. But some of the biggest time savings is talking with guys that are on the commercial VRF market. You know, they can press an entire job in 3 or 4 days that used to, it would take them through 2 to 3 weeks to braze it. And that makes a huge difference in being able to differentiate yourself in the market, as well as have another tool in the bag. The fabulous Fox Theater project, I think, was another case study for you guys, correct?
Yeah. Really what it can offer is if you're a business that's doing press fittings, no matter what segment that you're doing it in, it can give you a very competitive advantage to your customer. If you are doing a VRF install where you have maybe a couple thousand fittings on it, you may win the bid because you say you can do it 3 weeks less time. So I'm going to be able to deliver the results faster to you. That could be a big advantage. Or if you're going into a home, you know, they may not feel comfortable, or you could make them feel more comfortable. Oh, we're not going to be bringing any flame into your house today. It gives people peace of mind. But yeah, just like in those cool environments recently we did in St. Louis, where we're out of, there's a beautiful old historic Fox Theater, and they use some of our XL, our 1 5/8 and 2 1/8. So, you know, obviously safety and integrity of keeping that building standing was very important to that contractor and to that business. So those are just different reasons. But really, at the end of the day, it's just another thing to have in your toolbox. As an expert of your trade, whether you're using it or not using it, it's your responsibility to keep learning and to be your best, I would hope, and to know everything, and to, unfortunately, know everything.
Well, and talking about continuing to find other means and other places where you're seeing these fittings be more and more prevalent. One of them is the massive growth right now in data centers and cold storage. You know, from your perspective, why do these environments demand, you know, a different type of fitting as opposed to trying to braze all the time?
Time, labor savings, like if you're the business owner and, you know, you can charge the same price for the job and spend less on labor. That might be an incentive for you to want to do that as the contractor that's installing several thousand fittings. But really, in those environments, the data center people want their data. They want to keep it, and so they don't want anything that could go amiss. No, they're not going to want that. Cold storage places. We did a DHL shipping center. I mean, it was just about efficiency, and then safety are really just the two biggest things.
Well, and some of it also is, you know, you have really high pressure limits on your fittings. So talk about some of that versus the rest of the industry.
Yeah, so our fittings, we created this category. You know, we saw how successful it was in the plumbing industry, and we were like, why can't this be a thing for ACR? And it is because of the higher operating pressures. And so we are listed for 700 PSI working pressure. But as you may know, to get a listing like that, you do have to test 3 times that limit. So they go and do a bunch of testing, and they have to hold 2,100 PSI at the very minimum for over a minute. But for us, that that's nothing. You guys come to our booth. We're in the South Hall 332. We're doing a burst test every 30 minutes. And on our 3/8 couplings that we're doing it today, those will go to around 4,500 PSI. And 9 times out of 10, it's the tube that's going to burst from that pressure. And that's just crazy. That's not going to happen. But yeah, they go through tons of testing because there was no testing for this category. So kind of our R&D team was like, all right, if we want this to be accepted into codes, we've got to do the pressure testing, vibration testing, thermal cycling, salt, air, corrosion, test the seals inside of them. Everybody does get a little bit weary about having a seal, but you have a seal in almost every single component of your system. So, but it's specifically engineered for refrigerant
and all those things. If you've not seen a burst test, please go check out the booth. It's pretty crazy to watch them blow a fitting up.
It's fun.
It is.
It's just fun.
I've been lucky enough to have them bring the truck out to a distributor in North Carolina, and they were blowing up fittings in the parking lot.
Yeah.
So that was fun. We talked about it. Press fittings really rolled into being the perfect thing for the A2L transition. And it really was a natural fit. Like you said, it keeps people from dealing with burn permits. It keeps people dealing with other things. And as the industry has adapted more to press, how have you seen contractor confidence in moving to press grow over the last couple of years?
Oh gosh, I've seen it grow huge. When I first started, especially because I was really monitoring and getting our social media going, the comments were crazy and everybody's skepticism was at all-time high. Rightfully so. As a new product, we were the only manufacturer really in the category that were pushing it. So you're kind of they're the only ones. But that's what I was saying. You have to hands-on experience. Thankful for those early adopters that wanted to test the technology and give us case studies and help prove that it works. But really, it comes on to more people are seeing others doing it in their markets. Other contractors are winning bids that they wanted because they were able to offer something better. Also, they're figuring out more loopholes, you don't have to keep buying so many of those consumables. Or I have contractors that, because they reported that 60% of their installs are flame-free, they're getting lower insurance rates. Their techs feel safer when they're on even though I've brazed and it is very fun, but they feel they feel safer. You're also, as we're seeing a gap in the people entering the trades, this is a skill everybody needs to have, is brazing. That's part of your training. But you can have a little bit more confidence maybe with a newer apprentice that's on your team that you're training to get them trained on this product, and they can go out there and do some more work themselves.
Talking about training and looking to the new generation, that's something this show has always been a big part of. You guys have always been a huge supporter of AHR's workforce development. So, obviously RLS is very heavily invested in training and professional development, but why has that always been such a huge priority for the brand?
It's been a really huge priority for us because, we needed to train contractors on how to use our product, but during that we just learned that we've kind of became educators, our team, and just teaching somebody another skill. But training's important because you want to make sure people are doing things correctly. This is high pressures that people are working with and expensive equipment and everything like that. So you do need to train. And I know sometimes people think, I get this a lot, that maybe this is taking the skill out of the trade, a component of it because it's a different technology and it's maybe a little bit less craftsmanship, but that's not true. It's just adding another skill. And we do see the effects of labor shortages happening. So it's really important for us to continue to go around and teach people and get them excited for new things. We're really excited. We have a new alliance with PHCC, and we're going to be sponsoring their new Rising Leaders program that they have coming out, which is basically a miniature MBA within the organization, so that contractors and business owners can put somebody in that looks like a rising leader, put them through professional development even, and learn how does marketing work, how does the finances work, how do operations work, and also invest in professionally developing and elevating people. So we're really excited for that. That's coming up this year.
What's up, trade crew? You've heard the buzz, you've seen the press gang at every single AHR. Contractors across the country are ditching their torches for RLS press fittings, and they're not looking back. Why? Because RLS lets you finish faster, safer, and cleaner. From rooftops to mechanical rooms, crawl spaces and attics, it's a press and go solution that's leak tested, UL recognized, and proudly made in America. Make the switch to RLS and take the heat out of your installs, literally. RLS, rapid locking system, press forward and press on. This episode of the HVAC R&D podcast is brought to you by Diversitech, the one-stop source for contractors who want to simplify every job. Whether you're stocking up on install supplies, service parts, thermostats, controls, or digging into the legendary tool line from Hillmore, Diversitech has you covered. They're not just a parts supplier. They help build solutions for HVAC pros, offering pads, condensate management gear, electrical parts, replacement components, premium tools that make installs, service calls, and maintenance faster, cleaner, and more professional. Partnering with Diversitech means fewer trips back to the supply house, more time on the job, and less chance of callbacks because you're using the right gear from the start. If you want to work smarter, stay stocked up, and show up for every job ready, Diversitech is the trade pro's best friend. No, that's awesome. And those things are huge for this industry. There's a lot of people, like I said, they come up in it and they think the only thing they can do is turn a wrench.
No.
And there's so much more to it. And when you talk about, what actually works when it comes to educating technicians, and especially new ones, I think we both agree a lot of it has to come from hands-on experience and hands-on training. But it's also being able to expose them to all the different things in the industry that really kind of helps to change things. Because we're still, unfortunately, seeing that we're losing 60% of our workforce over the next 5 to 10 years. So if we don't start finding a way to bring and convince other young people that this is a viable way to spend their life and do their things, then we're going to lose as an industry.
Yeah, and just helping the business owners get smarter on how they're going to operate their business. I mean, we're just one part of the pie, but it all adds up.
Learning how to work on your business as opposed to into it is a lot of the problem. There's so many of us, my father included, that started a business because he was a great service tech and he knew how to fix everything, but it took him years and years and years to learn how to build and operate the business because that was not what his background was. Getting involved with PHCC, getting involved with different parts of the HVAC community and learning and really growing yourself is what helps you kind of build as a better technician and build as a better contractor and a better business owner.
Yeah.
So in your opinion, why do events like AHR still matter in the world of the trades? And, where can we technically learn? We can learn technically everything online, but why do these events still matter to come to?
Trial. I mean, you want to see these things in action. You want to learn more about it. And these are very technical products. I mean, you've got to go touch, feel, experience, learn. You're going to be installing this and somebody's going to be paying you to install it and you're going to be on the hook for it. And you want to stay competitive. You want to know what's new. You want to know what's out there. And quite honestly, being in the trades may lack a lot of networking events on a day-to-day basis, a lot of connection. A lot of people are single business owners. They may not have other people around them in their community that they can rely on or talk to at a certain level or share ideas and exchange that. And at the end of the day, connection is really the number one way you're going to do that in person and getting to have a good time too. I mean, it's fun.
It's collaboration over competition. This is the coolest place to find and see so many other contractors, and they can realize that, we may be in the same market, but there's enough work to go around. If we support one another in this community, we can all grow and be better at what we do. If someone in the crowd is early in their HVAC career, what's one thing you'd encourage them to lean into and learn right now? Breast fittings.
Yeah, breast fittings, I think, absolutely. If I would encourage them anything, I think it would be to learn more than just their day-to-day job. Like, if maybe you're a service tech and you want to try to get into management, or you want to try to grow yourself, like, what other steps are you going to do? Because right now you may be like a very hands-on technical person, but that doesn't where your road stops. You can always keep going up and learning those things. So I think it is important to keep exposing yourself to different people. I mean, like one of those sayings going, always hang out with someone smarter than you.
Yep.
You always learn something better.
Yep. If you're the smart one in the room, you're in the wrong room.
Yeah, absolutely.
Where can people go to learn more, get trained, and see RLS technology in action?
Yeah, so, I mean, first up, our if you go to our website, we have, like, request a demo. We have a sales team across the whole United States, and one of their main job tasks every single day is to go into distributors, union halls, schools, and train. So you can request a training for somebody to come to your location. They'll come to your job site, train your whole staff. We have a mobile showroom that's actually in our booth here today, but it's a hands-on training experience that we drive around to different distributors and union halls so that we can train people and show them about the technology. We have a very active Instagram at Rapid Locking System, where we share a lot of jobs that people are working on and tips that we have or anything new and exciting that we can showcase. So I would say those are our best spots.
And what's your booth number one more time?
Our booth number is in the South Hall, and we are 332. We're just kind of right at the entrance, a couple rows back.
Final question. What excites you the most about where the HVAC industry is headed over the next several years?
I think it's feeling very fresh. Like, new ideas are coming, new technology keeps happening. Things are going to really keep evolving and changing, I think, super quickly, as even like AI and all that. How will that play a part into all of this stuff, and how do you keep up with that? Yeah. So I think that's going to be very interesting, but I think things just keep getting a little bit smarter, and as they do, information is disseminating better. Manufacturers communicate more with contractors and vice versa. There's a little bit more collaboration there between the two, and so I feel like everybody's just going to be leveling up faster.
No, I agree with that, and we continue to see that. I think the biggest thing too is that as technicians and business owners, in a lot of ways, I think in the trades we can embrace AI a little bit differently than some industries, because AI is not taking away what we do with our hands.
No.
So we can use it to help develop and understand the different soft skills that help build our business and build us as better people, as opposed to really worrying about it taking away what we do on a day-to-day basis. And there's constantly new things with AI that are evolving with video technology that it kind of will attempt to diagnose a little bit here and there, but at the end of the day, it's not going to take away what we know how to do and what we've learned how to do for so many years.
Or figure out how to use it to streamline some of your office activities that you may not be the best at. You can just have that stuff do it for you half the time.
I really appreciate your time. I hope you have a fantastic show. I know I will be over at your booth tomorrow at 3 o'clock to do a little Q&A and take over in the RLS Tactical booth.
Yes.
So everybody, please go check out RLS over in the South Hall. Was it S332?
Yes.
When you walk in, go check out the truck. Go watch them try to blow up a fitting. And if you've got any more questions and you run into me or run into Jessica, just pester us a little bit while we're out on the floor. And thanks for listening and spending a little bit of time with us, everybody.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
Trade crew, thank you for listening. If you got value out of this episode, please make sure you like, follow, or subscribe on whatever platform you're listening on. Leave me a review, drop me a comment, share the episode with your team or your apprentice or anyone in your trade crew. That's how we keep this movement going. Please follow the show on Instagram at hvac.rnd and on LinkedIn and Facebook as the HVAC R&D Podcast. Again, thank you to our sponsors, LiveSwitch, JPL, Diversitech, RLS Rapid Locking System,
True Nature Meats, and our newest sponsors, Residio and Mon Hummel. Until next time, keep charging for change, keep building better, and keep choosing collaboration over competition. Ramblin' Rhino out. Peace, y'all.